Hello Captains, Kato Genesis here with another guide to the books and magazines of Starfield, this time going over the 10 issues of Mining Monthly. Instead of multiple different effects or multiple recipes, Mining Monthly has one cumulative effect, and that effect is to permanently increase tool weapon damage by 2% per issue, up to a maximum of 20%. And tool grip weapons include the Cutter, the Auto-Riveter, and the Arc Welder. Now, we'll be splitting these magazines into two sections. The first half will be the magazines that are in set locations that don't change, like main cities and colonies, for example, while the second half will be magazines you can find in procedural points of interest that you discover when you're wandering around exploring worlds. Let's go collect some magazines. The first one we're going to go for is Mining Monthly issue 03, and this is found at Gagarin Landing on Gagarin in the Alpha Centauri system. From the landing pad of Gagarin Landing, you basically just need to go straight ahead along the main walkway until you reach Lizzie's bar, probably the only place to have fun in Gagarin Landing. Straight across from the bar, in a seating area against the wall, there will be a small round table surrounded by some chairs, and Mining Monthly issue 03 should be on this table. Next we go for Mining Monthly issue 07, which is in the city of Cydonia on Mars in the Sol system, otherwise known as the Old Neighborhood. This magazine is in Cydonia's residential area, which you can find by going down the main walkway until you find the elevators on the right side, selecting floor P1, I'm guessing platform 1, and almost straight across when you step off the elevator will be the Deimos Miner Quarters. On top of the table off to the right in here should be where you find Mining Monthly 07. Next up is Mining Monthly issue 09. This magazine is in New Homestead, one of the oldest human colonies located on Titan, a moon of Saturn in the Sol system. After you've gotten to the airlock of the big blue main structure, we'll be going straight ahead and downstairs into the main congregating area of New Homestead. This is the place that includes the bar, the museum, your local chunks, and quite a few tourists. What we're looking for is the entrance to the ice mines, which will be down the hallway to the right of the Brown Horse Tavern. Directly ahead will be the doorway labeled Mine, trigger the airlock via a switch on the wall, and stroll down into the main cavern that's being worked on. Off to the right will be a cluster of giant wire spools, and the one closest to the entrance should have Mining Monthly issue 09 sitting on top. Next is Mining Monthly issue 06, which is found at the Bindi Mining Outpost on Bindi, a moon of Aquila, in the Cheyenne system. Now this should be a location you have by default, because I don't believe anything actually leads you here, but it is mentioned when Barrett and Lynn are bickering at the very beginning of the game. In any case, the main structure of the Bindi Outpost is a big red hexagonal hab, and once you are inside the airlock, head through decontamination and the waiting area to a main office section, through the plastic curtains in the back, to the small break room, then up the stairs, and you'll be in the Six Sisters living area. In here, you'll find two chairs facing a small round glass table, and on top of that table will be the magazine. Now for Mining Monthly issue 02, the only issue of Mining Monthly that is quest locked via the faction quest for Ryujin Industries called The Key Ingredient. When you embark on this quest, you are sent to CM Station RC1 on Carinae 3A, a moon of Carinae 3 in the Carinae system. Once here, the quest will point you to a lift that is in the central structure that leads down into the mines, and the lift itself is the thing that is quest locked. So even though you can come here prior, the magazine we're after is in the mines as well as the objective. So take the lift down, and as soon as you step off of it, maybe alerting hostiles nearby when you do, straight ahead before going into the mine shaft, you'll see a cart just in front of a safety protocol poster with issue 02 of Mining Monthly sitting on top. After finishing the key ingredient, it looks like the elevator does stay unlocked too, so if you missed it the first time, you should be able to go back for it. Now we're on to the second half, which is to say the 5 issues of Mining Monthly that are found in procedural points of interest. Now, telling you you might find something somewhere is the bane of my existence and goes against what I intended for this channel to begin with. So I'll go over a couple of tips just hopefully to expedite this a little bit for you. First is these are the map icons we're looking for 2 variations of the abandoned mine, the autonomous Dogstar factory, and the deserted robotics lab. The reason I'm saying this first is, second, when you bring up the map of a solar system, you'll occasionally see 3 little dots showing up on planets and moons. That means they'll have points of interest ready for you, as opposed to ones you discover after landing. Third, while it is time consuming, there is the take off and land method once you've established that a planet has human life on it, where you land, check for the points of interest, scan for the icons you need, and then hop back in your ship because it's probably another collapsed mine. Fourth, while these points of interest are procedural in where they're placed, the items that are placed on tables and shelves and such are static. So if this point of interest spawns in more than once, so too does its tabletop loot, including magazines. So you can get multiple of the same issue of the magazine this way, or thankfully find it in a new location if you forgot where your previous abandoned mine was. And no, collecting the same issue multiple times does not stack the buff. Even though this has been frustrating, these were the methods I used to find these points of interest, so I hope this helps you out too. Now let's get to these points of interest and where to find the magazines within them. Ironically, this section starts with Mining Monthly 01. This is found in the smaller abandoned mine variant, where from a distance, the main identifier for this outpost is a single small watchtower towering over the mining facility. This point of interest in particular can be forced if you're doing the main quest Into the Unknown, where Vlad asks to check on Andrasia and see if she's okay. Either way you find this location, once you do, Mining Monthly issue 01 isn't in the mine itself, and is instead in the square hab with the orange strip next to it. Go through the airlock, and on the desk straight ahead will be Mining Monthly issue 01. Next are Mining Monthly issues 05 and 08. The reason we're talking about two of them is because they're at the same point of interest, known as Abandoned Mine. And on the surface, I found it easiest to notice from a distance by this big cylindrical vent building. For this one though, we will be going inside, so once you've opened up the main big orange airlock with an external switch, you'll get into the interior known as the Mining Complex, and a place that has a little bit of everything. For the first magazine we're looking for in here, we just need to turn to the left and go into the next room. Almost across from the vending machine in this hallway, this thin table along the wall should have Mining Monthly issue 05 on top. Now, for Mining Monthly 08, we go back to the entrance and instead head towards the mine that is straight ahead from the entrance. Once you start walking into the cavernous corridor here, the corridor itself will veer off to the left, while straight ahead will be a small locked room with an advanced lock on the door. Digipick your way in, and Mining Monthly issue 08 will be on your immediate right on this metal workbench. Now we move on to the second to last, Mining Monthly issue 10, and this is at a point of interest known as the Deserted Robotics Lab. This is a large laboratory facility built into a crater, so what you'll see first if you're approaching from the distance is the giant landing pad, or this stacked antenna here. We'll be entering the main science facility in this rounded entrance tube, and once you're in the science facility, we'll be walking past the long dead front desk operator to the entrance, labeled entrance, and turn to the right hallway near the stairs. This will lead into the cafeteria, where we shall take another right into the break room, and in the smaller lounge area inside this break room, the magazine will be sitting on top of a square coffee table against the right wall. Finally, the last of the Mining Monthly issues we're going for is issue 04. This one is found at the quite large autonomous Dogstar factory point of interest. One facility that is pretty hard to miss once you do see it because it's built into a volcanic vent. From a distance, factory icon, towering hunk of rock with a landing pad next to it is how I would describe it, I suppose. If you are facing the big runoff tube in the middle, the magazine we're looking for is in the facility to the left of it. And while there are multiple entrances, the one at the top of the stairs is the one that I use to get inside. Once we are inside, we'll be going through this hallway, passing the restroom, and taking the immediate right once we're in the main building. Then we'll be taking the following stairway up and go through the door into the office here. Mining Monthly 04 should be sitting on the desk here. And this is also the room where you find the elevator controls to get up to the facility up top. So now, tell me how you're enjoying your new extra point of damage to your laser cutter. And of course, a full collection of 10 issues of Mining Monthly. And if you're not tired of me or my voice just yet, there is more guides on the channel for various magazines and collectibles, as well as tips and tricks and stuff like that for Starfield. So please give those a look. If you found this guide useful, entertaining, or both, please do whatever it is you see fit to show that. Among things you can is by supporting on Patreon like the amazing supporters on screen now, including Wasteland Legends, Rose, and Sven. Thank you so much for watching. I'm Kato Genesis, and I hope to see you among the stars.